I am really delighted and honored to be able to present the awards to our community projects, the projects, the pieces of technology that encode the practices of 21st century government that have been built by our brigades across the country. And we're going to award 3 of them right now, but rest assured this is just a small sample of the great work that has been being done by our thousands of volunteers across the country. It is truly humbling. And I am honored to be able to present these awards that represent that entire network. So first up is MBTA Ninja. In February of 2015, in the middle of one of Boston's biggest snowstorms, the Code for and that's saying a lot, the Code for Boston team gathered at the annual Code Across event. Code Across was canceled in other cities because of bad weather, but not in Boston. The team slogged through and coded a winner. On the way to the event, and really for that whole week, I mean, what really probably felt like to people in Boston the entire winter, most of the team ran into long delays on the T, the public transit system in Boston, and found that the information coming from the transit agency wasn't accurate. But they knew that riders knew what trains were late and how late they were, and realized that they could help riders tell other riders, sort of like Waze for the T. So they built MBTA Ninja, which is a service that crowdsourced T delays and alerts in real time. By making this service available as a mobile website and an Android app, this all-volunteer effort is now reaching 600 weekly users, and Code for Philly, Code for Poland, and the Port of Virginia are all redeploying the app. So here to accept for the MBTA Ninja is David Lago, Jeffrey Litt, and Radhika Malik. Thanks. Good job, guys. Yeah. Come stand on the other side here. Congratulations. Congratulations. We're going to step up here and take a picture. Thanks. Okay, next up is Citygram. Have you ever walked past a construction site in your neighborhood and thought, I wonder what's going in there? Or come home from work to discover that there's a parking restriction in place on your street? Like most cities, Charlotte, North Carolina was publishing this information about land developments and rezoning decisions and traffic accidents on the city's website, but it wasn't in a way that was accessible to most people, and certainly not in the moments and places when they were needed the most. Citygram is an app handed off from the Code for America Fellowship in Charlotte that quickly grew into a true collaboration between the City of Charlotte and Code for Charlotte, the Code for America Brigade there. It lets people subscribe to the kinds of information that they're interested in, choose the locations they're interested in, and then automatically receive friendly, understandable updates. Citygram has successfully delivered more than 1.8 million updates in Charlotte, but the true impact of Citygram's implementation in Charlotte, and the reason it's receiving this award, is that it shows what's possible when government is willing to truly engage its community of tech-minded volunteers in the work of making their city more responsive. So I'm extremely excited to announce here to accept the award are Jill Byers and Jim Van Fleet, who are co-captains of Code for Charlotte, and Jeff Stovall from the City of Charlotte. Yay! Your award. Jeff, here you are. Jim. Step on up. Thanks, guys. Okay, the last of our community award winners is CyclePhilly. CyclePhilly is a story about how someone new to a city with good intentions and the support of a community can start something great. When Corey Ackery moved to Philadelphia, he wanted to improve his coding skills and get involved in his new community. Corey reached out to Code for Philly, his local brigade, and he received a typically warm welcome. At Corey's first brigade meeting, he discovered that Philly had very little data about its bike routes, and if transportation planners don't have data about where cyclists ride, they can't do a good job of planning new cycle paths. So Code for Philly introduced Corey to the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, where he made the case for collecting public bike route data. Code for Philly also helped him find the open source code for projects in 3 other cities that were crowdsourcing bike routes, and several mentors, particularly Lloyd Emmel, who's the co-captain of Code for Philly, and Catherine Killebrew, to create the CyclePhilly app. Now, CyclePhilly has collected data from over 17,000 trips. The Planning Commission can plan new bike routes using real data, and Corey has improved both his coding skills and his new home city. Here to accept for CyclePhilly are Corey Ackrey, Lloyd Emmel, and Catherine Killebrew. Congratulations. What happened to your tie? Congratulations. You can see it in the picture, man. Congratulations, you guys. All right, so that was a deep honor for me to present the Technology Awards in the Brigade category. And now I'm really thrilled to introduce Tiffani Ashley Bell, a former Code for America fellow who is now the executive director of the Detroit Water Project, who is going to present the Government Technology Awards. Tiffani?
Hello. Let's get started. So, in Asheville, North Carolina, finding information about an address, like whether it's in city limits, where services are available, or how you can report a problem, meant using complex online GIS tools that weren't designed to answer those questions very easily. These complicated tools were the only ones available to residents and city employees, however. Other basic questions like the eternal, when is my recycling collected, didn't even have an online service and required calling a customer service center during office hours. To fix this, Asheville built CyclePhilly to give users the information and answers they need quickly and, well, simply. As important as what was built, though, was how Asheville's team built CyclePhilly. Led by Jonathan Feldman, Asheville's CIO, the team used lean startup methods. They built a small, quick prototype that talked to the city's ArcGIS and Esri server in about 90 days. They continually measured and learned with real users, constantly iterating and improving their service. An open source project hosted on GitHub, CyclePhilly can also be used by other governments. In our judges' opinions, CyclePhilly is a stellar example of how even the smallest in-house teams can deliver great digital services. Here to accept are Scott Barnwell, Cameron Carlisle, and Dave Mickelson. Next up, so like most cities, Bloomington keeps a detailed database of road, sidewalk, and parking events. These events, closings, lane reductions, reservations, and noise permits, are authorized by the Board of Public Works. But the people who need to know about these things are the people of Bloomington. So InRoads is an open source digital service developed by the city that manages all this information so it can be useful. Like many of the other things you've seen today, it's also built on GitHub, hosted on GitHub. By bringing together employee processes, systems, and information that used to be stored separately, employees can understand and see parking events, now and in the future, helping them make better decisions and spot problems before they happen. InRoads also saves time. Automatically publishing road closure information and sharing it with the press every week frees up an extra 4 hours for the employee responsible for that information. In Bloomington, our judges saw a forward-looking technology department that understands how to build services that meet their users' needs. With InRoads, the city has a platform to automatically share information with services like Google Maps and Waze to help users plan better routes in the future. The city is partnering with Google's Waze through its Connected Citizens program, is in the trial phase of importing InRoads data directly into Waze. TrafficCast, a predictive and real-time traffic information provider, is also partnering with Bloomington to incorporate InRoads data into a system feeding multiple navigation tools. We're proud to award the city of Bloomington, Indiana for InRoads. Here to accept are Rick Dietz and Cliff Ingham. And finally, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, nice, is a new federal bureau that's only 5 years old. One of its jobs is to help people take more control over their economic lives, and the result of that job is a desire to make it easier for citizens to explore public data on the web. But what kind of data? In this case, the millions of mortgage records, application records, collected by the Home Mortgage Disclosure Act. The point of the act is to make sure that there isn't a credit shortage affecting people living in urban neighborhoods. But it's only effective, exactly, it's excellent, but it's only effective if people look at the data to find out where the shortages actually are. So when the Bureau went looking for the right tool to make that, they were left feeling a little like Goldilocks. Some tools were too small, others were just too big. Nothing was just right for making 10 to 100 million records available easily. So as a 21st century government agency, the Bureau set about building Q, an open source data platform that meets their needs, which is also, you guessed it, hosted on GitHub. Q lets users query complex data, combine it with other data, and then summarize it. The team that built Q is not a small Silicon Valley startup, though. Instead, CFPB is a government entity with immense tech talent, building software the way startups and large tech companies do, quickly and iteratively, based on user needs. Q is one example of the great products that can definitely be built and shared with citizens from inside government. What's great about Q is the Bureau's approach. Instead of just building a single-purpose tool, they built something better for all of us. Easy to deploy and providing access through standard APIs, Q isn't just yet another data publishing tool. It's a platform for building data APIs. And here to accept the award is Chris Contalini.